Hello again. So this is going to be an update on what's been going on with me, and just to let you know, so if you're curious. So look at all these applications, or I wrote down to keep track of where I was applying, because I've applied at so many. I have this folder, and literally I have 100 pages in here that are filled, a lot of them front and back, of jobs that I've applied for and what's happened. Like if it's an email with a rejection, I have a specific folder where I just throw the rejections so that I know, all right, don't apply anymore at this company, don't apply for any more of those jobs, move on. So that's what I've been doing. And so in December, I did take the toxic job that I mentioned before, and it was rough. It was really, really awful. The toxic job did not pay me for over a month. So I was going there, and meanwhile, no money until January 10th. So imagine starting a job on December 1st and not being paid until January 10th. My rent and all my bills were super behind, and I was only making $25 an hour at this job. And so I didn't have the money for gas to get to and from every day. And so they said, get a note from the doctor or you'll be let go, because you had 3 days in a row of not coming. And I said, I can't come because you guys aren't paying me, and I have to go and plead with my apartment complex not to evict me, and to please let me have a chance to get money so I could pay rent, and all my bills are behind. I'm stressed out. I don't have gas to get there. And they said, it's not our problem. You need to use community resources. Well, I went to my church and I submitted their lengthy, long form wanting every detail about my life, wanting access to my bank, wanting access to all my bills, everything. I submitted all of that to them. Had a phone call from a lady that called me while I was trying to work, and she said she quizzed me hard about which branch of the church I went to, and when I became a member, if I was a member. And meanwhile, she had access to all this stuff, because when I mentioned the year, just to see, when I mentioned the year that I became a member, she said, oh, I show this. So she knew. So all that, wasting my time for over 20 minutes talking and questioning me hard to tell me that she wasn't going to help me, and everybody was on vacation and there was no funds, and that I need to get a job. After the fact, I had just told her I was working a new job and was just asking if I can get help with a gas card so I can get to and from work, and wasn't looking for a lot of money, just one-time gas card help, something. So she was very rude and mean to me, and then hung up on me, and then sent me an email with a blocked return sender address telling me I need to get a job and here's the job resources. After the fact, I had just told her I had a job, but I was having difficulty because the job was far and I didn't have the gas to get to it. It was over 30 miles to and from per day for me to get to this job. So anyway, long story short, I got let go. My doctor wanted to write me a note to help me out, and I had internal messaging from him back and forth, and the nurse just wasn't wanting to do it. He would tell the nurse, yes, write this note for Anna, yes, get this note for Anna, and I would follow up in a couple days and say, hey, I still don't have a note. And he was like, yes, write this note to the nurse. She just didn't want to do it. She didn't do her job, so because she didn't want to do it, I lost my job. And it wasn't for physical sickness reasons. It was gas. But it was making me physically sick from the stress of not making money and getting behind on bills. So long story short, I had a very small paycheck. It was only enough to pay my rent and the late fees from being behind on rent, and nothing more. And it is what it is. And I tried to get unemployment, and that company blocked me from it. And that lady lied and said she gave me a warning about my absences. She never did. She went on vacation And I had tried to plead with them to give me chances, that I was trying to get a doctor's note, and that I just didn't have gas to get there, and that I was stressed out. My apartment had posted an eviction note on my door, and nobody cared. So got let go, and unemployment said, nope, we're not going to help you. So now I've gotten hired from a job that is not as far. It's about 15 to 20 minutes away. I don't start till second week of March. They hold back, of course, a week of pay. And the pay is very small. It's even worse than what I was making at that toxic job, with the toxic boss and toxic coworkers. And I'm not even going to go into how bad and awful they were treating me. I knew from the reputation it was toxic. I was told in the interview from another manager that it was a toxic work environment and the coworkers were toxic. I knew this going in. I was desperate for a job. I took it hoping that I could just handle it, but that compounded with not being paid for over a month. Like I said, they terminated me in January, and then didn't pay me till January 10th, and it was only enough to pay rent and late fees, and that's it. So meanwhile, applying like crazy at these other jobs and trying to follow up and having only a few interviews, and like I said, I got a job, and it's not until second week of March for a start date. The pay is even lower than the toxic job per hour, and I have to be at office 100%. It's not remote work, and neither was the other job. The other job was not remote work at all, and they had I just don't even want to go into the details, but it's not great. Texas is not a great state to work in. Governor Abbott claims there's a high amount of job growth. It's all warehouse, and it's actually hard to get hired at a warehouse. I got so desperate, despite my college education, my master's degree, my license, everything. I applied at warehouse work, and nobody is hiring. It's really actually hard to get a job right now. And Governor Abbott, I'm very concerned. There's stuff that he just doesn't seem to care about, like the electric grid. I think that he got some money from the government when the government gave money for when our electricity all went off, because they did not, the electric grid that is privately owned by ERCOT, they did not want to prepare the grid for the upcoming winter storm in 2021, so they let it shut down, and then profited from getting billions in aid from the government as well as Abbott. And again, we had another freeze, not as bad as 2021, but pretty bad. And again, no preparation. I got emails constantly from my electric company telling me not to use electricity. So in other words, don't run your heater during the winter time, which is about to be shut off anyway because I don't have the money to pay it. I'm waiting for my tax return because it's going to be enough to pay this month's rent and late fees, and after that, tapped out. So it's a stressful time. I've been praying like crazy. I've done everything you could think of as a Christian with that. I have fasted. I have tried to tithe. With our belief system as a Christian, if you tithe 10% of whatever you make, you're supposed to, God's supposed to take care of you as a result. So, I'm trying to have faith that that's going to happen, and it is stressful. It is stressful. So, and also in the meantime, applying at all these jobs, and literally there's nothing else for me to apply at. I have applied at, this is just one folder. This is one folder. I have another one that has even more of these papers that I have filled out of jobs that I've applied at and the position and all that kind of stuff. So I was keeping track of every company I've applied at, all the positions I've applied at, and the status. So sometimes you don't get an email rejection. Sometimes you have to go on their site and then you check the thing and it shows not hired, So, and then a lot are in review, pending. So frustrating because nothing is moving forward. And meanwhile, interviews that are kind of degrading. I had a panel interview with 2 women last week, and it was degrading. I had a lady laugh at my name. She said, "Anna, are you sure it's not Anna? Why isn't your name Anna?" You know, she said it should be Anna, like that character from that Frozen movie with whatever, you know. And I was just like sitting there going, what the heck? Who makes fun of someone's name in a job interview with an applicant trying to get a job and making fun of their name? Who does that? That's beyond petty and toxic behavior. What the heck? You know, I just can't imagine doing that to another person, you know? But, you know, it is what it is. She said that to me several times, and each time she said that, I said, no, it's Anna like banana. And then she would go on again. Why isn't it Anna? I said, because it's Anna like banana. I didn't go into a story of it's Anna, a derivative of Hannah. I didn't go into my dad named me and blah, 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 blah. I just said it's Anna like banana. And just every time she said her craziness, I just said that. And it's just, I'm worn down from the process of interviews. It's just, it's really exhausting. It's toxic. It's not funny. And I'm worn down from the toxic people that, like I said, are in Texas. So it's next to impossible to get unemployment, and people that brag that they got so much unemployment during the pandemic. And plus, I think they screwed it for us that are unemployed right now trying to fight for unemployment benefits. So I got denied, and I've appealed it, and I'm trying to fight it, but I haven't heard anything. And their website said it could take 4 to 6 weeks before they decide to have a court hearing about it. So, you know, by that time I'll probably have that job at the place I'm going to be working at that doesn't require an education, that is a 20-mile drive, that is low wage per hour, you know, whatever. And it's stressful. It is really stressful, but it is what it is. You know, the whole thing of me getting laid off at the job I had, I was really good at it. I got asked and assigned to do above and beyond duties. It was assistant manager level and not compensated for it. And then let go the way I was let go and not paid for the last 2 months of working there at that company that I worked at. Almost 2 years too. It was a month shy of being a full 2 years, and let go the way I was let go. And I had to fight for over a month for unemployment for that one. Got unemployment. And then meanwhile, trying to get another job. And that prior job had a non-compete. So during the 2 months I was not paid, I couldn't apply for other jobs. So that was over the summer of 2022. And then finally let go in August, and had to fight through until almost the end of September with unemployment to get unemployment benefits because my prior company blocked it. So she was just evil with how she did me, not paying me for the last 2 months of my working there, and then blocking me, and then trying to get a lawyer. Texas lawyers don't care. They don't want to represent unless they know they're going to profit like big time. And so it just, the cards I've been dealt have been so unfair, and I've cried out to God. I'm like, come on, God. I have had a rough go since the 8th grade when I lost my dad, you know, trying to be shuffled from place to place and no consistent home for holidays, you know, even in foster care system. It was really stressful because, you know, people want vacations during, and, you know, and holidays. So even holidays, it was cold and awful, just to give you a realistic viewpoint of how hard it was, you know. And, you know, as an adult, it's still difficult. I put myself through college and graduate school because of the fact my foster care upbringing and losing my dad as fast as he died and the events, I thought, okay, well, maybe if I get a college education, I could safeguard myself from being in a position where I'm homeless. Nope, I was getting minimum wage jobs and nobody would give me a chance. And then I got jobs where I was being physically injured. And then putting myself through graduate school, again, working in direct care, getting physically injured, permanently injured by severe mentally ill people on drugs and alcohol. And, you know, those were the only type of jobs I could get. And it's frustrating, you know, and it's frustrating to have a master's and still struggled to get a job. And with this job, it wanted all proof of my education. I deleted out the master's. I'm like, I'm not going to give you a transcript of my master's. This job only requires a high school diploma or a GED, and I'm being paid that rate. I'm not being paid for my education level. I'm being paid as the same as someone with a high school diploma or GED. So I submitted my college transcripts. Then they wanted a copy of my diploma because they didn't even know what it's called, a degree. I was like, I'm not going to unpack all my stuff to look for my degree. I'm not going to do it. So I said not available. And hoping I passed that for the background check. I can't imagine. I sent them an official transcript copy of my college transcripts, and that wasn't enough for them. They wanted a copy of my college degree. They wanted a snapshot of that, and it's packed. I packed up all my stuff because, like I said, I got an eviction notice on my door, and I'm again going through that process with my apartments and pleading with them, going, I'm going to get my income tax return any day now. Please, please, please give me a chance. And the reason why I'm getting just barely squeaking by with over $1,000 from my income tax return is because I had 2 major surgeries last year, and I cashed out my 401k to pay for them. And so you get up to $19,000 or something like that in tax credit for using your 401k for the purpose of medical treatment. Plus I had the coronavirus, even though the company I worked for made it mandatory to get the coronavirus vaccine, which I did. So, you know, the whole propaganda that the vaccine will keep you from getting the virus, which was a bunch of bullshit. I got the virus from an unvaccinated person. Well, I got it through a person that was vaccinated that got it from a person that was unvaccinated. So a family member caught it, passed it to me, and then I caught it, and struggled to get somebody to treat me because nobody wanted to deal with coronavirus. And I'm a high risk because I have severe asthma, which is permanent. It's not a childhood disease. I developed this and my lungs collapsed, and I had a tracheotomy at 2 years old, and I have it for the rest of my life. It's a no break kind of deal. It's with me, just like my veins in my body are with me, you know. So or just like somebody with diabetes, you don't grow out of that. Sometimes people symptoms improve, and that's because they have a mild case, unlike me. So it is what it is. It's just the hand I've been dealt. But I'm praying and trying to just be patient for breakthroughs. And like I said, applying at jobs like crazy, and I've applied at so many in and out of Texas that now I'm playing the waiting game from the 2-panel interview that was humiliating, like I said about my name, and waiting until I start the new job at the company that is paying me so low that I'm gonna have rent and pretty much nothing else, and I'm looking for a second job, which is gonna be difficult because this job is a 9 to 5 demanding hours, and so literally I'm gonna have to have something that's weekends and after I get off this other job, just to have money for everything else: food, gas, internet, phone, electricity, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm back to my natural hair color. I am so broke, and yes, my eyes look awful because I'm tired and stressed out, but it is what it is. But anyway, that's the update. It's almost, yeah, it's 20 minutes. Thank you for watching, if you watch this whole thing. And I hope that you don't become unemployed, because the state of our country right now, it's a mess. If you are looking for a job, expect to apply at stuff that is beneath you. Don't just apply at jobs that you are experienced and educated for. Apply at everything like I've done, because that is all that's available right now. I could tell you that as a fact. I even got rejected from Amazon, which Amazon has had massive layoffs as well. So FYI, and people are upset because their packages aren't on time. Well, it's because there is not enough drivers and not enough warehouse workers to keep up with the demand. So that just goes with every corporation. Corporate owners make bad decisions, and it affects the little man whether we like it or not. So it is what it is. So expect things to get worse with the way things are going. And I would, if I were you, if you are in a stable career, I would definitely stock up on stuff that's bulk that you can, in case you do get laid off unexpectedly, because that's the way things are going right now. The economy sucks, and millionaires like to stay millionaires, so they will cut corners and they will cut people that they feel are unnecessary. So I would stock up on things that you can stock up on, and if you're able to save money in a savings account. I couldn't do that. I am not in a position to do that. I live check to check, and a lot of people that are middle class and lower middle class are in that predicament. But if you're not in that bad of a position, if I were you, even if you think you have it cushy right now, I would do everything in your power to start saving up and preparing in case you do get let go. Because let me tell you, it is devastating when it happens, and there's no one there to save you. Not church, not community. There's no community supports to help. There's nothing. So you're on your own, and it is what it is. So thanks for watching, and good luck.